I don't even know who are they. You have been saying for like 1 year.
Anyway,
Yeah. I say Kenya way. They do election. They say the economy is bad. Fire. The money has moved inflation from 6.5 to 7.5.
So in Ghana, we have to sign the entire cabinet. What is that?
You go free weight. So they say yes. So they say they carry Uhuru in baggage.
Wait, say no.
Where they say Uhuru in the economy record no good because he move inflation from 6.4 to 7.5.
Talk that much.
Where I say, hey, 7.5. You want to end up 26 point something.
Yes.
In Ghana.
27.
Had happened 2 days on the run. But my question is, why these two gentlemen who were in Ghana? Because I wasn't here, so why they were not there?
Let's talk about the present.
Come and sit here and talk plenty.
Let's talk about the present.
Let's talk about the present.
The present is that you are here.
But I wasn't here
and the present
I
is
actually
that...
thought you said let's talk about the present. What you are coming to present to us as a present.
As for that one, we'll talk about it.
So who didn't go to the demo?
Who didn't go to the demo?
You.
Who were following?
Yeah, from here.
We're following.
From here.
Sit in the comfort of your office.
No, but if we don't do the job for him, who will do it? If all of us
If all of us
are
get
out
to the
there,
field,
who will do the job here?
Report?
Yeah.
So some of us have to be in the office. And when they bring it, then we'll share it with.
So what happened with this demo? I mean, because I've heard a lot about people being tear gassed and etc. And the
but
issues.
For me, the most important thing is the message being sent to the press.
What's the message?
The message is that times are hard. Krum ayeshe. Today, people are struggling. I mean, I always make reference to the man who says, because he has no money, he eats no breakfast at work or before work. In the afternoon for lunch, he spends 9 Ghana cedis. 9 cedis, living standard series.
Yeah.
Then he finds his way home so his wife can cook for him to eat. Others have talked about 010, but that's what I am interested in. The fact that today, even those who sell food say a man for bar, woman turn it a second.
You know, so I'll give you a true story today. I mean, so Gobe is something I like a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
this...
I've seen the proposed increase.
The Gobe joint.
Yes.
Last week, the woman put up a notice. I don't know if you saw it.
I've seen it.
But you don't eat from there.
No, but when you buy sometimes we eat together.
He put up a notice, and I want to read the notice. I thought she was joking until today. Who sent me this thing? Okay, yes. My Gobe friend. He says that from today, but I remember this. From today, the one plantain for the Gobe is 1 cedi.
1 cedi, yes.
1 cedi, Raymond. Plantain, not one.
Entire finger.
No, the one that has kelewele, no.
That is 1 cedi.
When they give you one, it's 1 cedi.
How much was it?
Oh, but that's an aberration.
Oh, no, yeah,
that's unfair.
What's unfair? That's
at least.
You know, in the past, when I buy Gobe, I buy the plantain 3 cedi. And the 3 cedi is plenty.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Yeah, 3 cedi will give you a lot of them.
3 cedi will give you 3. So today, I thought it was the woman. I thought the woman was joking, right? I thought so I sent my colleague to buy some because I'm coming on there, so you should go and buy me some. I said, buy the usual. Buy the usual means buy Gobe 4 cedi, plantain 3 cedi. He says, the plantain, the 3 cedi won't catch. I said, what did you do? But you remember the decision? I said, okay. They said, so how much should I buy? I said, how much should I buy? He says, you have to buy plantain 8 cedis.
What?
Plantain.
More than 100%, almost 200%.
Plantain for Gobe, 8 cedi.
Your 3 cedi.
Then I asked, how much should I buy the Gobe for? The Gobe I used to buy 4 cedi. He said, Gobe, if you really want to get equivalent to what you used to eat at 4 cedi, Now I should buy Gobe 7 CD.
7 CD.
Yes.
So plus the 8 CD.
Plus 8 CD.
It's
So,
almost
so
14
you've
CD.
moved from 7 cities
15.
to 15 cities.
15 cities.
More than 100%.
Yeah,
15 CD.
but that's dangerous.
Yes.
And Gobe is almost like, to be fair, you see, you might like it, but to many people, it's the kind of food that you use for that strategy, the 010.
Yeah.
It helps throughout the day.
Drink a lot of water.
Yes, and
add the gari.
it's what sustains people. It's actually what people would want to eat for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And forget about and come back the next day to actually get food to eat. So if that's also gone up almost 100%, it's just a very terrible signal. Let's look at the case of a NAPCO person who's been paid, assuming he's been paid. On the average, per the month, if you divide his salary by or his remuneration by the days, he's spending 20 to 25 CD per day. Yeah. If he spends 15 out of the 25 CD
On Gobe alone.
on Gobe alone, it means that if he's lucky, he will get transportation for the 10 CD, or else he's exceeding his daily allowance every single day.
You see, guys,
how
look.
will such a person survive? If such a person is not surviving, how about those? Because NAPCO, you at least have to have tertiary education to part with NAPCO. How about those below the tertiary education level who are taking far lesser than the people with national service personnel, paying 600 or 500 CDs? They will be actually spending almost 200 or 20 CD or 15 or 18 CD per day. How do you expect, let's say, a national service person who is living at Pokwase to come to work and spend less than 20 CD throughout the entire day and go back home? I hope you are getting a point. How about if he lives at Tema and works in Accra? The transportation involved alone plus the food will not be enough. Is he supposed to rent on that? Is he supposed to also pay for the other things? Buy clothes for himself, go to work ordinarily. How about if he falls sick?
Look. In fact, you've just hit the nail right on the head. The reality on the ground today is that the fuel that you used to buy at around 6 cities is now over 10 Ghana cities.
That's true.
The reality on the ground today is that your inflation a year ago around 7.5 is currently at 27%.
Yeah.
And you're coming from Kenya.
Oh, yes.
Where they want to sack a government because their inflation is risen from 6% to 7%.
7%, yeah.
6%
Imagine.
to 7%.
They said the economy,
Look at our
One
situation.
percentage
They said the
change.
economy is so bad. The Uhuru Kenyatta has run down the economy, so his preferred candidate will be just repeating the old economic, failed economic policies of that has led to an inflationary increase of 1% rise over there.
Still single-digit inflation.
And they are
The
complaining.
last time we stopped talking about single-digit inflation,
When I read, I'm like, hey, this is
what are they talking about?
Oh, but you see, the reality is that today, at the end of every month, when I am supposed to part with money for the upkeep of the home, I need to increase it.
Yeah. You have no,
I mean, look,
you have
because
no excuse. You just have to
because you
top up
see,
more.
at the end of every month,
me chop money.
somebody is a bit of kicks.
This guy is listening to us. What's his name?
I chop money. You have to increase it every month. Every month. Every month you have to increase it. Yeah, last time I brought home 3 CDs of kinky, worth of kinky.
One ball.
One ball.
Diminished ball.
One ball. Okay.
It is, yes. I bought one myself. I've been complaining since then.
Look,
yes, my brother. Things have changed.
Evans, for many
I'm
of
serious.
us, look,
Okay, but I'm giving an example.
let me be very honest with you.
Christian Village.
For many of us, because we
I
don't buy
went myself to go and buy it.
Kinky. 3
Yes, I looked in the face of the woman. She told me of it. I actually was going to ask how
How
many.
you eat 3? I'm telling you.
You mean the 3 city guy is small?
Yes. How do
my fist is
the
bigger
size
than-
decreases and yet the price goes up?
So you see, for those of us who don't, who
Yeah, bro.
eat on group and all of those things, you don't realize these things until the reality hits you. So you're sitting home and you're like, what is happening here? Because other people are also struggling. And that person who's struggling sees you as his messiah.
Yeah.
So what do?
If you have checked, your dependence have increased.
Yes.
The people who are consistently asking you for money for one thing or the other,
you're
it's
right.
really increased.
You're right. I think it's an aspect of the current hardship that we haven't said about enough.
Because if you realize, people that ordinarily would have once in a while, if you met and give you money to, will now be actively calling you and asking you to support. That's what shows you that people are really suffering in this country. Because to be fair, no man running his family will be excited, will be happy going to another man or anybody for money.
That's true.
Every man will be qualified in any way, thinking that the best way to run your system is to be able to provide for everybody, not relying on that person's resources.
That's true.
It's a very difficult period for people in this country. So I get it 100%. If people say that, no, you're not getting our point. We need you to intervene more. We need you to get to appreciate that things are not going well at all.
That's the reality.
Do you think the president and his government appreciated the rise the more and what it stands for?
See, I think that generally, governance takes the position that, well, we may think something is not going on well with the economy, or we are in difficult times, and they've been saying that they know we are in difficult times, what they do not appreciate is the impact it has on various groups. Yeah. So they rarely see the Arise Ghana demonstration as an extension of a political party's act or people. And you heard the information minister. Yeah. Oh, these are people who are intended to destabilize the country. There are attempts. People are putting together things to try and destabilize the country. For the ordinary person, and I agree that there are people, political actors, who might be behind demonstrators one way or the other. There's no demonstration in this country that's
politically neutral.
Well, what are you saying? No matter what, there will be people who have political motives behind it. But you can look beyond that. There are people who did not go out that day. Because if they step and join that demonstration, they will not eat. Look, and that's what people don't get. And there are people who have, in fact, there are more critical situations than the people on the demonstration. There are people who are struggling today, as I speak to you, to raise more money to pay for lab reports in hospitals. Because of that, they are abandoning the healthcare. They're not excited though. They're still feeling the pain. They're still living with the conditions that they're having. So those people do not carry themselves and sit in a wheelchair and go and join the demonstration.
Let me tell you something.
But they reflect the reality on the ground that people are heavily suffering. And the expectation that there will be intervention is not happening.
No, and people heavily suffering. Let me tell you one thing. When I hear the information we talk about people trying to destabilize the country, one of the things you learn about every insurgency, insurgency by itself is an attempt to reverse the asymmetrical relationship in a society. So the perception that some people are up there and we're down here, they don't understand what we are going through. Yeah. So if that's the case, we would make it horizontal, not vertical anymore. We want to ensure that we are all at par. Insurgencies or coup d'etats that you want to talk about always has the support, for it to be successful, has the support of the middle class all over the world. Talk about the Bolshevik Revolution. Look, in today's world, all those guys who have been wearing Che Guevara, if they knew what killed Che Guevara, they don't wear it. Che Guevara. He went trying to replicate Fidel Castro's strategy. They arrested him and killed him. That thing doesn't work anymore. Now go and start a struggle. And people follow it doesn't happen anymore. Unless there is enough grounds. And so you say there should be grounds for the insurgency. What could amount to grounds for an insurgency? Economic hardships. Are we going through hardships? So look, the British did it. I mean, one of the best counter-insurgency strategies was in Malaysia. When they realized that the people were preaching things they were going to do, the British went ahead and did the same thing that the insurgents were preaching. You have the opportunity. In fact, the Trade and Industry Minister says the growing rate of unemployment poses a security threat to this nation. We know the problems in this country. We know, you see, the consistent reference to Russia and Ukraine. My brother, Russia and Ukraine, the people on the streets don't understand Russia and Ukraine. In Kenya that you are coming from, they've reduced imports on rice because a lot of people import rice. Yeah. So they realize that, how do we cushion the people? When you say you know how to... A country
with 6 to 7% inflation. It's looking at cushioning people. Then you are here, 27%. And you are still talking about... You are still
raising your hands in despair. When you talk about you know how to bring back the economy to life, but you don't know how to bring back lives, what you should be doing at this point in time...
It's showing the evidence of it today.
Show the evidence today. It's to be telling us what you're doing to make it better. Don't just tell us that I have cut expenditure. So what? You cut your expenditure. How does that impact me? You cut your expenditure, or you cut your salary by 30%. How much do you earn in the first place? And so today, there are people, see, civil servants are calling on government to give them a cost of living allowance. There are people in the private sector who are struggling. I sit here and I ask myself, I know that, Charlie, I say that the way the thing is going, my disposable income has come down. But how do you even go to your company and start making demands, knowing the economic conditions? Yeah. That's the situation we're faced with. So people are suffering. Unfortunately, the very people, and that's what saddens me so much in this country, the very people who are supposed to help think about solutions are insulated from the problems. We buy them food. We buy them fuel. Yeah. They live in government apartments or government bungalows. They drive government vehicles. They don't understand. When you talk about it, it's like, I mean, you are...
So the guy is living in cantonments, right?
But I thought the finance minister announced all this, austerity measures that says they shouldn't... They're going to... something about
and cut down the salary. Wait. If the minister's salary is 28,000 cedis and you cut it by 30%, 30% is 9,000. It brings it to 19,000. The 19,000 that person is earning. 19,000. Check average salaries in this country.
What does 19,000 mean to the average person in this country?
It means a lot to the average person.
That's a plan for this whole year.
But already, outside the 19, we have given that guy a cook. We are giving him a security man. Yes. We are paying for his fuel. See, tell me your budget. Your budget goes into some of these elements. transport is the biggest cost on our inflation list.
That's true.
So we have insulated the guy from the effect of the biggest things that are happening.
That's true. I mean, like a week ago, I decided to park my car and use an Uber vehicle that I own, small one. I mean, and I saved a lot because
compare the difference.
My fuel ran down, and I'm like, I'm going to spend 620 CD or something. I'm like, wow. I can't do this anymore.
And if you are doing this weekly or sometimes some days, and if you live at Pokwasi, imagine you live at Pokwasi.
I park the car and I just spent 200 in that small car.
My brother, I bought fuel on Sunday. When I was coming to work today, I bought fuel again. I filled my tank on Sunday. And right now...
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So for 3 days.
No, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 days. You make it 5 days. Don't add the Sunday to it. So that it will make me feel good.
Well, I use it for the whole week.
As much as I had about half tank. I had half tank.
How much does it take to fill it?
It's about 550 Ghana cedis. And
that's 5 days. So
that's the National Service Personnel's allowance.
Yes, for one filling.
Yeah.
You see, so in a month, you are almost 2,500.
Over 2,000 cedis spent on fuel alone.
You have taken that's 5 days. So
that is if you from work to the house, from the house to work.
You're doing some other.
If you turn around, you spend more than that.
Or if there is some inordinate reason why there's excess traffic on the way,
least 2,500.
Yes, you're finished.
Wow.
And so when you're talking about and you finish that, you're supposed to eat yourself. You're supposed to take, and other people are demanding.
You have kids, you have to go to school. You have to feed.
And that's different transportation.
And school fees is increased.
Yeah.
Everything's gone up.
School fees is gone up. Just last time when they brought me the school fees, I looked at it and I said,
what is influencing this? Now you want to scrutinize bills for no reason.
So sometimes then you ask, then you ask, but these small kids, when they go to school, what do they learn? And what do they learn apart from going to sing? And you have to be paying this much. But that's just because the realities hit you. And you realize that you don't have, the money that you're giving, it's hurting you. You're like, while you're excited that your child goes to school and comes back to sing to you, it's not easy having to part with the money all the time. That's the reality on the ground.
So the question really is, and it was on the advertisement, what should the president do? In the face of Arise Ghana and the growing, what should the government do?
Your best reaction to things like this is to show that people you care. The best way this government can show us they care is first, and I'm not going far, take the major contributors to inflation and tackle them from the top. By the end of the year, you might have dealt with one or two.
Transportation.
Start with transportation. Transportation affects the woman who is bringing the tomatoes from Tichiman. It affects whichever food product is coming from. When the minister complains that he doesn't understand why it is cheaper there and it's not cheaper here, it's because reasonably there's transportation that's influencing it. Beyond that, we should stop the flagrant abuse of state resources that makes us look too affluent, especially when people are suffering. It is painful.
I think
it's painful when you go to a church and you think you're putting offering and the guy who's the pastor is the one living the luxurious life. It is painful when the politician is actually the one living the luxurious life. When we are all breaking our backs for it and they are not part of the
biggest
trouble.
tragedies in the last 2 weeks is the president's decision to hire that jet again.
Yeah. It compounds a certain...
Yeah. I read the explanation. So and
still there was a
flights were grounded, etc. So I ask myself, so that's fine. You couldn't find a flight. But must you go for the most expensive? No, must you go for the most expensive, luxurious option available? What was the question in a time of austerity? If flights are grounded, you can charter a flight. You charter the one that will just take you there. You know what I mean?
I get you. 100%.
So your point is spot on. And Wache Jaku himself made the point recently.
Yeah.
That the government must show that they identify with the pain and suffering of the people. Unfortunately, they are not showing that enough. And
that they are not getting it even gets me more confused. Because it makes sense. You might not be able to do much, but if the people feel that you are with them in the trenches, it actually is comforting. You try to be populist. Yes, do something. It's comforting. But when you live directly opposite what we are saying we are all going through, you are actually putting more insults into the injury of the people. And that's how people get angry for it. Because it doesn't make sense. Yeah. It's almost like those people who are actually lined up early morning trying to look for church and they are struggling to get through. They're not getting through. And they get into a church or they are in traffic. Then a minister from nowhere in everything sponsored, complete car comes through. It's acceptable to park aside and going to do no work. If you are freeze the economy, we'll not be where we are. So what the hell are you going in that speed for? Because in your speed, you've not done anything serious. In fact, all factors aside, and we'll be making this point, our current condition is not only because we were the most affected by global circumstances. We know that. So they make you more angry when you see the flagrant abuse of our resources.
Do you know why? Do you know why when the NDC assumed office in 2009, Dr. Kwabena Dufo said he would prefer the economy has challenges to the economy is broke. Yeah. Do you know why?
Right.
Because words even instill some confidence in an economy.
Yeah.
And one of those things that will bring back the confidence into the Ghanaian economy is when we sack the finance minister.
So today, John Mahama has been speaking on the economy. That's one of the things he said.
Yeah, and I see, when we sack the finance minister, or let's say you even reshuffle him, the new person you bring in there would come with fresh ideas.
Yeah.
All things being equal.
Renewed hope.
Renewed hope.
See, that's the thing.
All things being equal.
Even if he might not do much. People say, okay, let's try this guy. Let's try this guy. Maybe he has something new. So we may be willing to, that's the things we do to new governments. No, let's give them some time to settle in. So maybe helping the interim on that particular
what you need to do today is to be telling the finance minister, Ken,
but that proposal is as impossible as Ghana sending a month.
Oh, we have to make it possible.
We have to make it possible.
The president,
if the
president who hasn't reshuffled his government to any substantial level for 2 terms.
But
yeah, that's the problem. But
this president has stopped pressing ministers. Have you heard it now? Those days, when he's coming to introduce his ministers, the ever hard-working, all of those other, the indefatigable, he has stopped using those terms. Because it gets people angry more. We see the reality on the ground, and they are giving accolades that does not exist.
I am telling you that
you're right.
The president.
This is the best time for a reshuffle.
The president should act today.
Yeah.
Even his party social media communicators, we see them. They are all tweeting reshuffle. They are tired. They're party guys. They are tired. Look, if you like, yes, right after we leave this show, somebody will call you. Charlie, bro, Abba.
Yeah.
They're suffering.
If the executive president believes in that democracy is that you are representing the people, is the executive president interested in, let's say, ask CDD to do a poll? How many people want the finance minister to remain in office and are happy about the current conditions that we find ourselves?
Don't need a poll on that.
I get you. But even if you say,
you don't need a poll on that.
In fact, you should not ask CDD.
Yeah.
Ask your head of research. He's a very competent research scientist. He will show you evidence.
The evidence is on the face of it. I mean, it's on the face of it.
And you see, it is to save this economy and to save this government that there's a need to change somebody in there. At least that man can take a break for now. No. So that people will think that, oh, something new is coming. I mean, we can make changes in the next 2 years.
First of all, his health, we know he's not in the best shapes. The economy is, I mean, honestly, he's been possibly one of the worst finance ministers we've had in the Fourth Republic.
He should have been
one of the
reshuffled long ago.
One of the worst. I mean, I'm not saying the worst.
Evans,
one of them.
Between 2017 and 2019, before the IMF left, we had an IMF program. People forget that.
The only year that they managed the economy, the World Economic Outlook said were high risk of debt distress. 1 year. So we hide behind COVID-19. In fact, if it's anything like COVID-19.
Okay, so COVID came in 2020. Yeah. That 2019 year was the year that was fully under a Ghanaian government control. That's when we ended up with that high rate of debt distress.
And all the other things that I'm talking about. Yeah, but we'll turn around and say that but for COVID-19, we're better.
I mean, as for that story, it's so old and worn out.
Yeah.
The World Bank boss said it himself. That way before the COVID came,
we had our problems.
Challenges.
So the reality on the ground is that we have not had the best of management at that level. If this was a private company, that would have changed the head of finance.
Long time.
What is preventing us from doing the same thing?
Even if it's not his fault, let somebody else come in.
Yes.
With fresh ideas.
Yes. Let me give you an example. During the health crisis, AGC, the head of finance at the time, he fixed the problem and left the country. And he resigned.
You must resign.
Men of honor will do that. Again, different job.
So let's put it this way. Thankfully, we have a finance minister who made his name in the private sector.
Yes.
Private bank.
With relevant experience.
If this was Data Bank.
And he's managing it.
Would he keep the CEO in charge?
He would have sacked him by now.
I'm sure he'd have been convinced
that question.
Yeah.
Would he keep his CEO in charge if he had run Data Bank and the Data Bank is showing these numbers?
I would have sacked the CEO.
He would have. Long ago, anywhere in the world where he's worked, in New York, etc. That's what would have happened.
I know a bank in this country that had a head of procurement for a very long time. When they realized he had stayed for a very long time, they made him an offer that he should go. If you accept this offer, you can leave. They made him an offer that, look, we have an offer for you. If you want to leave, you can accept this and go. First time he said, oh no, he didn't want to leave. But they were telling you that we needed fresh ideas.
Yes.
And the next day they gave him the offer again. He took it.
Yeah.
And they just didn't let him go while he was leaving. They kept him with some allowances for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
But they just needed fresh ideas.
And the reason why...
In his current state, Ken Ofeata will never be a poor man until his death. In fact, his children, great-grandchildren, would equally...
And he was a self-made man before he became a
Yes. So he has done enough. He has contributed to the development of this country. His continuous stay in office is becoming an insult to the collective conscience of our people. He's actually becoming a stumbling block to our forward movement. I do not think that any government, any finance minister that walks and drags a government straight onto the laps of an IMF program, as we are currently speaking, as we know virtually everybody in government is in agreement with this particular policy, in our current state, you only need to honorably leave the position so that somebody else, let us blame somebody else for our woes. Yeah. Let us say that you did very well and somebody worsened the situation.
Another reason why I think it's either the president needs to let him go or he himself might do the honorable thing and resign is that we know that one of the options, one of the most viable options out is the IMF.
Yeah.
But he's boxed himself into a corner where he's persistently, publicly stated he won't go.
I recall 4 different occasions.
Okay. So
on his rounds, on the forum.
So in other words, if you don't take him out of the picture, he won't even have the open mind to consider
the IMF properly. Okay. Because you told everybody that E-levy was the way forward. And that we don't need IMF when we have E-levy on our laps.
So, because you need, right now, you need all your options on the table.
That's true.
But this man has taken one of the most viable options out. So you can't continue to have him there. So when we come to crunch time and we need to say IMF is the only option after we've exhausted everything, how will you go when this man is there?
Let's listen to some. Let's read some of them.
But the first one is what I like. When we're talking about the Gobe. Baran Bolo Sangeri says, is that the only place to buy food?
You're going to work farther than you normally would have done just to get food to eat.
See, to be fair, sometimes some people make some of these comments. Show us where it is cheaper.
And then we'll go.
Show us.
Hey, let's ask him.
Yeah.
Baran, please show us where the Gobe is cheaper. I'll go there, I'll travel, we'll go and buy it and come and eat.
And you see, some people, especially people who are beneficiaries of this state, who are actually enjoying, they make comments that get people angry more. People buy. See, if you are buying at these places, check the other places where we are talking about and check whether there's any the price have not gone up. Like we are being told inflation is 27%.
Yeah.
He's giving you prices correspondent with that, and you're saying that is not the only place to buy. Where else are you supposed to buy the food from?
Colin says the 2-day demonstration will not trigger the change we need in Ghana. Fuel prices will keep on soaring, and the president will still be using private jets for his travel. E-levy will not be scrapped, and we will continue to pay taxes for which we get nothing in return. Famous Smith, why is this government finding it difficult to admit the reality on the ground? Yusuf Abdallah, the country is in bad direction, and who is going to rescue us in the mess? Desmond says, this Joy News is different from the one on TV. They are showing a different thing on TV. Yes, of course, this is only on your social media page. Collins comes back, he says, the pillars, the leaders to help fix the country are not helping because deep down, you are people who want wealth without working, who have knowledge without character, and who want to go into politics without principle. Our only hope is God to intervene. I have said God left us long ago.
Yeah, I actually think that sometimes irresponsible. For you to leave a program and be on a good footing just in 2019 and come back to God in 2 years after an IMF program, I mean, what kind of people are we?
It means you are not capable of managing your affairs.
It doesn't make sense.
That's the reality.
We are bright people in this country. In fact, we are some of the best people in the world who are Ghanaians.
Yeah.
How on earth that when it comes to managing our own small corner of 30.8 million people, we can't do it?
Famous Smith, why do we expect our leaders to experience the reality on the ground if they are exempted from the same things we, the citizens, are experiencing? Abubakar Hassan, Evans, we appreciate the work that Joy News and TV3 doing for the country, and the most annoying part of the government and its communication and this communicator says Russia-Ukraine war and that of COVID, or trying to tell us that NDC is not an option. They don't know. They have lost the election already, whether Bawumia or Alan. What a solid team opposition in waiting. Ajipa Gold says, jokers, when there's a fight on this matter. Richite, the hardship is becoming unbearable. There are areas in Accra now, and renting kiosk is now expensive than renting a room. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Renting
the guy
a
do his
kiosk
business.
is now expensive than renting a room. The average salary for the youth in these areas is 300 cedis to 500 for more than 8 years now. The most annoying part, the Chinese, Lebanese, Indians overuse our youths in their companies and pay them peanuts. That's true. Eric says, the finance minister must be sacked. I agree 100%. Harry Boama, I like the discussion you people are saying. You speak the mind of the ordinary Ghanaian. Famous, in any serious republic, the finance minister must be sacked long ago. James, the president should sack the finance minister and bring Dr. Mark Asibe Yeboah, a competent man wasting somewhere. Agriculture minister should be sacked too. Daniel, great submissions there. Emmanuel says, Evans, greetings from WA. We need a lot of commendation to commend the agri-fair in the Upper West. The region leads in food inflation. There's need for more support to ramp up production. Well,
there are a couple of messages also on the tweets we put out there.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do just this. Akufo, okay, this one says, sometimes I don't pity Ghanaians. The same citizens that are complaining will still vote for the same candidates in the next election. And if they will die, they'll embrace something entirely new. Make them take dewey. And the adverse effect of a demonstration is that the team in waiting champion the demonstration has nothing new to offer to Ghanaians. And that's what Lyrical Yaobi is saying. Waiting on the president, and Acquisition says, waiting on the president to act is like praying for Satan to repent. In fact, that's what he says. And well, the G says, no comment before police go kill you. That's also what's being said by some of the people here on Twitter. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll meet next week.
Yeah.
Hopefully by that time, something would have been done.
Hopefully, yes.
Something would have been done.
Hopefully.
The ball is in your court, Mr. President.
Como é que